I'm just going to do a really quick handstand tutorial or prep for those who don't necessarily have the upper body strength to support themselves on their hands yet. So this is just a good drill to do if you can do like a headstand and you can practice against the wall. So to start off, we'll just do a little bit of stretches, and then I'll show you a drill that you can do. And you can practice this every day for a couple minutes or whatever you have time for. So to start off, we'll just come into child's pose. Bring your knees together. Set your butt back and stretch your arms forward. We're just really stretching out through the spine, elongating the spine, and stretching the shoulders. And reach your hands forward, and then push your hips back to come into puppy pose. And just opening up through the shoulders again, and pushing your head through your hands, or through your arms. And then coming up to tabletop. So before we go into this drill against the wall, the first thing I want to talk about is form. So one of the great things about practicing against a wall is that you can practice your form, and you can practice holding it, so your body creates the muscle memory and how it actually feels to be upside down. So to start off, we can start in plank. And this is how basically pretty much any one of your yoga poses should be. We'll start in plank, and if you want, you can also bring your knees down to the ground. And instead of kind of like arching your lower back and pushing your butt up, you really want to tuck your tailbone under, so kind of bringing your butt down. At the same time, you're bringing your belly button and pushing it up close to your spine. And you don't want you don't want to be sinking in through your shoulders. You want to be pushing up and out through your shoulders and really pulling your lower ribs up a little bit. So you don't want them to be sticking out right here. So this is what you should not look like. And then this is what you should look like. So really rounding through your shoulders, pulling your upper ribs in, your lower ribs in, pulling your belly onto your spine, and squeezing your core. And if you want to come into plank and you'll feel that same shape. So we're going to take this and we're going to go against the wall, and we're going to use the wall as a prop. So for those of you who can do a headstand but can't necessarily and don't have the strength to be on their hands, this is really good to do. And I recommend doing the headstand where your hands are clasped behind your head, just because you have a little bit more support for your spine. When you're doing a tripod headstand like this, you're putting a little bit more weight on your head, and you're kind of crunching your neck if you're not supporting yourself and you don't have the strength to do that. So it's a little bit more dangerous, so I prefer to do this type of headstand. So kind of bring your hands to clasp together, and you kind of want to give yourself enough room to do kind of like a downward dog or like a dolphin type pose right here against the wall. And you're going to take your hands in between your heads, and you really want to think about pushing through the shoulder girdle. So you can see I'm kind of sinking down low, and all the weight is being pushed into my head. And you want to think, push through your forearms, and you're spreading your back. So you're kind of widening out through your back. And then come up into almost downward facing dog position. And take your left foot or your right foot up to the wall. And push your toes into the wall until your right foot lifts up off the ground. And bring your foot up to meet. And you can point your toes or you can keep them flexed. But instead of putting the weight into your head, continue to push out through your shoulders. So think about that same plank shape that we were in, squeezing your thighs together, squeezing your butt, tucking your tailbone slightly under, pulling your lower ribs in, and holding this shape as long as you can. And when you're ready, you can just drop your foot and come down into child's pose. So that's one option that you can do. I recommend holding that for as long as you can. Maybe do like 2 to 5 sets of those every day. It really help build shoulder strength. It also build muscle memory for having the correct form for when you can actually, or when you do actually build up the strength to be on your hands, and then you can practice doing this on your hands against the wall. So I hope that helped, and if there are any questions, just leave them down in the comments below. Thanks, guys.